All right.
Leave you in the hospital looking at MASH for months.
All right. So we were invited by 20th Century Studios to see The Boogeyman. Boogeyman
Boogeyman.
stars Chris Messina, Sophie Thatcher, Vivian Lara Blair, and David Dastmalchian, as well as like a whole bunch of other people. Um, this is about it's legit like the curse movies that we've seen that have come out. It's like Drag Me to Hell, Smile, the box, I think it was the one with the Divock boxes. One of the Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah,
The gift
it's
or
the
the box, something like that.
yeah. It's sort of like that, where someone gets infected with someone gets infected with this curse, and then they've got to like get rid of it. Uh, Overall, it was actually quite solid.
Yeah.
I liked the film. You could tell the PG-13 rating actually weighs on the movie because they can't go to certain places and do certain things. A lot of the I think what would have been the peak of a scare has been kind of taken out by uh, like not showing it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that what's it called? Meat Regan had a had an effect on the film? Do you think that because they had such a great sort of run with that PG-13 horror
Mm.
of Megan that they went through and changed things and cut things back and
They might have. The tone does not lend to PG-13 at all.
Mm.
mm,
The tone is really R-rated. So
Yeah.
it's adult theme.
yeah, and like you're dealing with grief. This is a grief-stricken
Mm,
family, and you're dealing like the movie opens with a child death, right? So Stephen
Jesus.
King got to get that in like his bag and whatnot. Does it in the body. Does it in it.
Does it in it? Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, all the players are solid. That little girl from fucking Let's Be Heroes and Obi-Wan
Yeah.
as young Leia. She does really, really well. Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets, great. David Dastmalchian is in here for like maybe 3-4 minutes max.
Again?
Yeah, yeah,
But he just signed on for these 3 or 4 minute movies, or
I
yeah.
don't
That's
get it,
kind
eh?
of you kind of see him in everything. A little bit of everything,
yeah,
and like he gets hit in the back of the neck or like just like
yeah.
poisoned or something like that. It's always the
Would have
most
been a
disgusting thing.
it would have been a great Riddler, by the way.
Fucking
True.
oath.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and I would believe him over Paul Dano.
Hundred
And it's
percent.
funny because you look at the two and they could have been brothers in another life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Dano do got a bit of a Dust Malkin about him, or the other way around. There's not enough Chris Messina in this movie. That's my
Yeah.
big takeaway.
Mm,
Not enough. I think overall, Smile did it better,
mm,
and where Smile kind of exceeds the Boogeyman is in the lore side of it. So
mhm.
they kind of ramped us up, and they play the first and second act really, really well. It's that third act where they're trying to figure out how do you actually defeat this evil being that one lady's like, it seems like it's been around forever. But then it's like it legit turns into Home Alone at the end where they setting up like traps and shit like that. It's
Yeah.
almost
Oh,
like because it's like the Boogeyman where it's in the dark only. So you got to
mm.
use light to defeat it, and then apparently it takes damage from just normal like fire and normal weapons and shit like that.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's a physical being.
yeah, it seems like it, but it also seems metaphysical.
Yeah. For
Where
They're not casting Yarden or anything on the floor. None of
nah,
that.
I,
Not doing any of
I
that.
think that's why they took Chris Messina out because like he
Right.
he should have been that to do all that sort of shit. He just wasn't there.
yeah.
The little trainees, Sophie Thatcher and Lyra Blair, they like they do their best. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Siri. would kill those fucking kids. I gotta tell you. Eat those kids for fucking breakfast.
Siri was doing flips and shit off like totem poles and whatnot. Nah, Lara Blair ain't got shit. Maybe in reflex she could have like force maneuvered herself out of the house, like Leia does. What's your take there, Bado?
So for me, I enjoyed this movie, but I remember saying this to Dave as well. This was more in the same vein as Babadook for me, because
yeah,
because for me, this movie could have also been taken as processing grief, and that's how like the physicality of the monster comes out, because everyone that is affected is suffering from grief, and it's very repressed.
yeah.
So it feels like coming to the end of the movie, you realize, okay, so to like, really defeat this monster, you have to actually like, work out yourself and get everything sorted out. Because they really had a big focus on Chris Messina being a therapist, but not being able to process his own emotions and sort of trying to get away from that. So I thought that was cool. Like a therapist who can't like do his own therapy, who can't fix himself. Like that's always like a good time. It's like the cop who can't cop.
Yeah.
Meet the cop who can't be stopped. So he's like, what's his face? That's the exact same character De Niro's playing in that other movie. In the De Niro horror movie.
I know
Angel
the one
Heart.
you're talking about.
We laugh at all the time.
No. De Niro is
Hide and Seek.
Yes. He was the child psychiatrist, remember?
Oh shit. I just do not remember that movie. The only thing I remember, Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
But I think overall I enjoyed it. Very much the same as you. I think there's deserved more Chris Messina, and him as the main would have made more sense for me as well.
Yeah. I think he held the butt of the drama. Like sort of like the bulk of it. If he had just been in there more to sort of work through that shit, I think it would have been more powerful.
Yeah.
I think where the scares kind of came in, or where it got me, was the mimicry that the boogeyman would kind of have.
Yeah.
And then, like, Sophie Thatcher plays this tape of her mum off this old, like, camcorder, and then it starts mimicking the mum. I thought that would have worked brilliantly if they just kind of played with that a bit more. Because that's where the drama is, and that's also if you put the fear in the same place, it like you can't trust it. You know what I mean? Like that should be your safe space. But if you can't trust that shit, like that's when like they could ratchet that fucking fear up like crazy.
And they set you up for it as well, and then they just don't deliver on the scare.
You could do that in a really, really good PG-13 way as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's like when I seen the PG-13, and over here they kind of did like the Drag Me to Hell sort of thing where they rated it where like not everyone can see the movie basically. Like you have to have someone that's 18 to kind of take a 13-year-old to see it.
It's MA over here.
It's MA over here, yeah.
Wow.
Because I don't think that rating was warranted. What they rated it for was like extreme horror themes. Which is, I think, just, yeah, that's a cop-out. That's like, oh, this was too scary for me. Mate, I've seen M-rated horrors that hit harder than this.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, like, shout out to those trailers not ruining the mimicry for the Boogeyman as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. Because when that shit happened, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm in that, that small minority that don't like to see the monster before the movie.
Yeah. They did that in the trailer. They did show the monster because I paused it. I could screen grab it, everything. You know what I mean? Just up the brightness and Bob's your uncle.
But at the
Bish,
same
bash,
time,
bosh.
it feels like this has come out now, right? But then we've seen that trailer for that It Lives Inside movie, which seems like it's almost the same film, but it's more based in Indian culture. So maybe we'll get more lore and more information from that movie than this when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Fire that movie.
Yeah, that looks fucking brilliant. Brillo, mate.
Real old.
I really wanted like just something a bit heavier.
Yeah.
But by the end, there's no like they just like tie it up like, hey, we're like one happy family again. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like that grief tears them apart during the movie. And there's some bits where like Sophie Thatcher and Chris Messina are like, hey, yeah, we're best buds, and then like, why are you even talking to me?
I
It's like,
know. You don't even listen to me.
yeah, it's like stay consistent with that relationship because that's what you're gonna draw on through the movie. And yeah, I think if that was if that was stronger, I think it would have paid off better in the end. But also, he's a good dad in the movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't a deadbeat sort of like I'm into my work at the moment. Like he wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
Kendall.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
He was there. Like his business was at home. He does one stupid fucking thing. Like he sees a customer off and he closes the door and you see like a figure lurking ominously outside the door. His office is obviously inside the house, right? David Dastmalchian just walks into the office. He's like, I need to talk to you. And he's like, okay, well, sit down. It's like, get the fuck out of my house. I'm calling the cops. You know what I mean? I've got the blicky on.
Yeah.
I will shoot.
Keeps that thing.
I'm gonna put that into the bucket list of lines I want Chris Messina to say. Keeps with the S on there. That
Gotta be that.
bang.
3 A's.
Haji.
You got two options here. You could have been Chris Messina at the mall or Chris Messina at the morgue. You could choose one.
Overall,
Christmas Messina at home.
overall solid movie. I don't think there's going to be a lot of like if you loved like the Insidious movies and stuff like if you're in that vein where you're like I love the Conjuring movies. Even the third kind of gets some play, but not a lot. But you know what? Like I'm a completionist. I watch that in Blade Trinity. Like if you're that go check this out. I don't think that during the movie some of the inadequacies or shortcomings of the film were evident and were just like outright like, yeah, you fucking inconsistent prick. It more came on reflection. During the movie, I had a fucking good time. The sound design in this, A1. They do stuff that with the bass build up and because it's a horror movie, they want to jump scare the shit out of you, but they do stuff with the bass build up that isn't the same. The frequencies that they use and the patterns are just different.
I want you to hit that brown noise.
Yeah. I think they was aiming for that, but the way they utilize like the ceiling effects and stuff, like it wasn't an active Atmos mix, but the atmospherics were beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you're that
I personally had a great time because there was a bloke, right, that came in wearing a jacket and then midway through the movie walked down the stairs in the jacket still to go to the bathroom and came back 5 minutes later. That fucking jacket was in his hand. Looked like it was fighting fucking demons in that bathroom.
he's the that puts the jacket on the coat hook in the back of the door of the shitter.
I never understood that.
Unbuttons his shirt. This is the only note, the audience note, that I will kind of give. If you're at a press screening, right, and either you're reviewing the film or you're going as a +1 to this film, turn your fucking phone off and leave it in your pocket. No one gives a fuck on Instagram where you are. Even if you turn the brightness down, bitch, I can still see it. It's just cinema etiquette, man. Those just don't get it.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, go see the Boogeyman. It's worth the 90 minutes. It's brief as fuck, but it's really tightly wound and worth checking out.
I must see.
Yeah, it'll be on Disney Plus in the next 2 months for sure.
oh yeah, it's 20th century.